Hey, stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you could be the most important thing you hear all year. Your legs are not getting weak because you're getting old. They're getting weak because nobody told you what to feed them. And that difference, that distinction right there, that could be the difference between living independently at 80 or needing someone to help you get out of a chair. I'm Dr. Andrew Morgan, and I've spent over 2 decades as an orthopedic surgeon watching patients lose their mobility, not because of some unavoidable fate, but because of a silent nutritional crisis happening inside their muscles every single day. And today, I'm going to fix that. A landmark study out of Tufts University followed over 2,600 adults aged 60 and older and found that those with the lowest levels of specific key nutrients in their diet lost muscle mass at a rate 3 times faster than those with the highest levels. 3 times. And the most alarming part, the weakness always started in the legs first. The quadriceps, the hamstrings, the calves, they deteriorate faster than any other muscle group in the aging body. And most people don't even notice until they're already struggling on the stairs. Now, I'm going to share 6 specific foods that directly counteract this process. Foods backed by research. Foods that work with your aging biology rather than against it. And I want to warn you right now, the number 1 food on this list is something most doctors never mention. And it works so powerfully in people over 70 that the results honestly surprised even me. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me your age and tell me this. Have you noticed your legs feeling weaker, heavier, or more tired than they used to? Drop it down below. I personally read every single comment on this channel, and your answer helps me make videos that are actually useful to you. Now, let's count these down from 6 to 1, from powerful to absolutely essential. Coming in at number 6, and this one surprises almost everyone I mention it to. Eggs. Not egg whites, whole eggs. The kind your doctor may have told you to avoid for decades. Well, here's what they didn't tell you. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed whole eggs after resistance exercise experienced significantly greater muscle protein synthesis than those who consumed only the egg whites, even when the protein content was identical. The yolk, the part we were told to throw away, contains essential phospholipids and micronutrients that actually amplify how your muscle cells respond to protein. Think of it like a key and a lock. The protein in the white is the key, but the yolk is what unlocks the door. Here's why this matters so much specifically for aging bodies. After the age of 65, your muscles develop what scientists call anabolic resistance. That simply means your muscles become stubborn, less responsive to the protein signals that used to easily trigger growth and repair. It's like trying to send a text on a bad signal. The message is there, but it's not getting through clearly. Whole eggs appear to improve that signal significantly, helping your muscles actually hear and respond to the nutrition you're giving them. One of my patients, Margaret, a 72-year-old retired school teacher from Knoxville, Tennessee, came to me barely able to walk up her front porch steps without gripping the railing with both hands. She wasn't sedentary. She walked every day, but her diet was almost entirely egg, whites, oatmeal, and salad. Within 6 weeks of adding 2 whole eggs to her breakfast every morning, along with the other changes we made, she told me she felt like someone had oiled her hinges. She was walking her dog 2 miles a day by week 8. For preparation, soft-boiled or poached is ideal. It preserves the delicate phospholipids in the yolk that frying at high heat can damage. 2 to 3 whole eggs per day, ideally in the morning, is where the research points. And here's your synergy tip. Pair your eggs with a small amount of vitamin C, like half a glass of orange juice or a few slices of bell pepper. Vitamin C dramatically improves iron absorption from the egg, and iron is critical for oxygen delivery to your leg muscles during movement. Number 5 on our list is one of the most underappreciated superfoods for seniors on the planet, and it costs almost nothing. I'm talking about sardines. Stay with me here. I know, but give me 60 seconds because this little fish might genuinely change your life. Sardines are the only common food that simultaneously delivers 3 of the most critical nutrients for aging leg muscles in one package: highly bioavailable protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and calcium. Researchers at the University of Aberdeen in Scotland published findings showing that omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis in older adults and reduce the inflammatory markers that accelerate muscle breakdown. In their study, participants aged 65 and older who supplemented with omega-3s showed a 35% improvement in muscle cell sensitivity to amino acids. 35%. That's not a rounding error. That's a transformation. Here's the aging-specific mechanism. As we get older, chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, acts like a slow fire, constantly burning through your muscle tissue. Omega-3 fatty acids in sardines are among the most potent natural fire extinguishers we have. They don't just reduce inflammation, they also improve mitochondrial function. Your mitochondria are the tiny power plants inside every muscle cell. And by the time we reach 70, most people have mitochondria that are running at dramatically reduced capacity. Sardines help restore that energy production at the cellular level. Now, the calcium matters too, because one thing most people don't realize is that your leg muscles don't just weaken from muscle loss alone. The bones they're attached to also thin and weaken. And that combination is what creates the devastating functional decline we see in our 70s and beyond. The calcium in sardines, especially sardines packed with the soft bones, which you can barely taste and should absolutely eat, is more bioavailable than most calcium supplements on the market. Aim for 1 can of sardines packed in olive oil 2 to 3 times per week. Mash them on a whole grain cracker or mix them into a tomato sauce over pasta for a meal you might actually look forward to. Your synergy tip here is to eat sardines with any bark leafy green, spinach, kale, arugula. The magnesium in those greens works hand in hand with the calcium and vitamin D in sardines to maximize bone and muscle mineral density. Number 4, and this is where things start getting genuinely fascinating, is tart cherries or tart cherry juice if you prefer. This is not a trendy superfood I'm throwing in for novelty. The science on tart cherries for aging muscle recovery is serious, and it's building fast. A study from the Northumbria University in the UK demonstrated that older adults who consumed tart cherry juice experienced a 22% faster rate of muscle strength recovery after exercise compared to a placebo group. But more importantly for our purposes, and this is the part I want you to really hear, tart cherries contain natural compounds called anthocyanins that directly inhibit 2 key inflammatory enzymes, CKEX1 and CKEX2. These are the same enzymes that over-the-counter anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen target, except tart cherries do it without the kidney stress, without the stomach irritation, and without the long-term side effects that make those medications so problematic for people over 65. After 70, your body's natural antioxidant defenses, the internal systems that clear away the cellular debris from exercise and daily movement, they slow down considerably. So, the oxidative stress that builds up in your leg muscles after even a gentle walk takes longer to clear. That accumulation is part of what makes your legs feel heavy and tired, even when you haven't done very much. Tart cherries accelerate that clearance process, helping your legs recover faster and feel fresher, so you actually want to keep moving. I had a patient, Gerald, 77 years old, a former firefighter from Buffalo, New York. He came to me frustrated because every time he tried to be more active, his legs arched so badly the next day that he'd be on the couch for 2 days recovering. That cycle, try to move, get wiped out, rest, was slowly shrinking his world. I suggested he try 8 ounces of tart cherry juice in the morning and 8 ounces in the evening. Within 3 weeks, Gerald told me the post-activity soreness had dropped dramatically. He was walking to his neighbor's house, then around the block, then further. Small gains compounding weekly. Look for unsweetened tart cherry juice, not the sweetened cocktail versions that are mostly sugar. Drink 8 ounces about 30 minutes before bed if possible, because tart cherries also contain natural melatonin, and research shows the overnight hours are when your muscles do the majority of their repair work. Your synergy tip. Combine tart cherry juice with a small amount of protein before bed, like a tablespoon of almond butter or a small handful of walnuts to give your muscles the amino acid building blocks they need during that overnight repair window. Now, before we get to the top 3, trust me, you do not want to miss number 1. If you're finding this information valuable, would you do me a quick favor? Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. There are seniors right now who need this information and will never see it unless the algorithm shows it to them. Every like helps this reach the people who need it most. Thank you. I genuinely mean that. Number 3 on our list is one that I wish every single person over 60 in America knew about. And it's something you can find in practically every grocery store for under $5. It's plain Greek yogurt, specifically the full-fat or low-fat variety, not the non-fat. The mechanism by which it rebuilds aging leg muscles is something I find endlessly remarkable. Greek yogurt contains one of the highest concentrations of leucine of any food on the planet. And if you don't know what leucine is, pay very close attention. Leucine is the master amino acid, the specific trigger that switches on muscle protein synthesis like flipping a light switch. Researchers at the University of Illinois found that leucine is the single most important amino acid for overcoming anabolic resistance in older adults. And here's the crucial number you need. Approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to reliably trigger that muscle building switch. A single cup of Greek yogurt delivers roughly 1.5 gram of leucine. And paired with other leucine-rich foods across your meal, it becomes an incredibly effective tool. But Greek yogurt has a second superpower for seniors that almost nobody talks about: the live cultures. The probiotics in Greek yogurt don't just help your gut. A growing body of research, including work out of the University of California at Davis, is showing that gut health directly influences muscle health through something called the gut-muscle axis. When your gut microbiome is compromised, which it commonly is in older adults, partly due to decades of antibiotic use and dietary patterns, your body's ability to extract and utilize protein from food drops significantly. Fixing the gut improves protein utilization, which improves muscle building. It's a chain reaction that starts in your digestive tract and ends in your legs. 1 cup of full or low-fat Greek yogurt, ideally within 30 minutes of any physical activity, even a walk, is the protocol I recommend. Add a drizzle of honey if the plain taste is too tart for you, or stir in some berries. Your synergy tip: add ground flax seed to your Greek yogurt. The omega-3 alpha-linolenic acid and flaxseed work synergistically with leucine to further reduce inflammation and enhance muscle fiber repair. Just 1 tablespoon of ground flax seed stirred in makes a genuine difference. Number 2, and I promised you early in this video that the top items on this list would genuinely surprise you, is one that makes people do a double take every single time: beetroot. Whole beets, beet juice, or beetroot powder. And the reason it's this high on the list isn't because of its protein content. Beets have almost none. It's because of something far more fundamental to why your legs are failing you. Stanford researchers studying older adults with reduced physical capacity found that dietary nitrates found in extraordinarily high concentrations in beets were converted in the body to nitric oxide, a compound that dilates blood vessels and dramatically increases blood flow to muscle tissue. In their study, participants who consumed concentrated beet juice showed a 12% improvement in muscle power output and remarkably a 13% reduction in the oxygen cost of exercise, meaning the same walk that used to exhaust them now required significantly less effort from their cardiovascular system. Think about what this means for aging legs specifically. After 65, one of the primary reasons legs feel weak and tired isn't just muscle loss. It's that the vascular system supplying those muscles with oxygenated blood has become less efficient. The arteries are stiffer, the blood flow is reduced, the delivery system is compromised. Beets essentially act like a natural vasodilator, widening those blood vessels, improving circulation, and getting oxygen and nutrients to your leg muscles more effectively. Think of it like upgrading a 2-lane road to a 4-lane highway. The same amount of trucks, the same nutrients are now moving much faster and more efficiently. The mitochondrial angle here is also extraordinary. Those power plants inside your muscle cells. Nitric oxide from beets actually helps them generate energy more efficiently, using less oxygen to produce the same amount of muscular force. For seniors dealing with fatigue and heaviness in the legs, this is a profound mechanism. My patient Eleanor, 81 years old, a retired librarian from Portland, Oregon, had been told by 2 different physicians that her leg weakness was simply age-related and that she should manage her expectations. She started drinking 8 ounces of beet juice daily along with the other dietary changes we implemented. Within 4 weeks, she was reporting that climbing stairs felt easier than it has in years. She's 81. She was told to accept decline. She didn't drink 8 ounces of beet juice about 2 to 2.5 hours before any planned activity for maximum effect. If the taste is too strong, blend it with an apple and a small piece of ginger. Your synergy tip: consume beets alongside a food rich in vitamin C, which protects the nitrates from being degraded before your body can convert them to nitric oxide. A simple squeeze of lemon juice into your beet juice accomplishes this perfectly. And now, number 1, the food that I believe, based on everything I've read, studied, and seen in clinical practice, is the single most powerful food for rebuilding leg strength in people over 60. And it is something that has been on your grocery store shelf your entire life: Yet almost nobody over 65 is eating enough of it for reasons I'm about to explain. The answer is wild-caught salmon. And before you say, I already know salmon is healthy, I promise you, you do not know it at this level. And you are almost certainly not eating the right kind at the right amount at the right time. A landmark study from the University of Stirling in Scotland, and the full reference is in the description below, demonstrated that omega-3 fatty acids from fish directly enhance the anabolic response in aging muscle to a degree that researchers described as, and I quote, comparable to some forms of pharmacological intervention. In other words, the omega-3s in wild-caught salmon work on aging muscle at a level that rivals medication in terms of measurable biological effect. They directly reduce the threshold of anabolic resistance. Those stubborn muscles that no longer respond well to protein actually start listening again. But here is why salmon specifically and why wild-caught matters. Wild-caught salmon contains between 1 1/2 and 2.5 grams of combined EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids per 4 ounces serving. Farmer salmon, depending on what the fish are fed, can contain dramatically lower concentrations of these specific fatty acids and higher concentrations of inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids that actively counteract the benefits. The difference between wild-caught and farm-raised is not a marketing distinction. It is a biochemical one. And for aging muscles, it matters enormously. The protein in wild-caught salmon is also uniquely suited to aging bodies. At roughly 25 grams of complete protein per 4 ounces serving, salmon delivers all 9 essential amino acids, including that critical leucine we talked about, in a form that aging digestive systems absorb with remarkable efficiency compared to tougher cuts of red meat that require more robust stomach acid to break down. After 65, stomach acid production naturally declines, which means the protein from a steak may not be as bioavailable as you think. Then there's vitamin D. A single 4 ounces serving of wild-caught sockeye salmon contains over 100% of the recommended daily intake of vitamin D. And this is where I want to spend a moment, because the connection between vitamin D deficiency and leg weakness in seniors is one of the most underdiagnosed crises in elder health today. Research from Harvard Medical School found that adults over 65 with low vitamin D levels had significantly higher rates of sarcopenia. That's the technical term for age-related muscle loss and lower scores on every functional strength and mobility test measured. Vitamin D receptors exist on muscle cells themselves, meaning your muscles literally need vitamin D to function and grow. Without it, no amount of exercise or protein changes the trajectory meaningfully. I want to tell you about James, 74 years old, a retired electrician from Charleston, South Carolina. James came to me using a cane that his doctor said he'd likely need permanently. He had lost nearly 30% of his quadriceps strength over 5 years and had fallen twice in the previous year. I discovered his omega-3 levels were critically low and his vitamin D was severely deficient. We started him on wild-caught salmon 3 times per week, along with several of the other foods from this list. Within 8 weeks, James walked into my office without his cane. His wife was in tears. He was in tears. He told me, "I thought that part of my life was over." It wasn't over. It had never needed to begin. For preparation, baked or lightly panned seared with olive oil is ideal. Keeping the omega-3 fatty acids intact without the oxidation that comes with very high heat cooking methods. 3 servings per week of 4 to 6 ounces each is the evidence-based target. If cost is a concern, canned wild-caught sockeye salmon is one of the most affordable and nutritionally comparable alternatives available. A can costs $2 to $3 and delivers virtually identical benefits to fresh fillets. Your synergy tip for salmon is without question pairing it with any cruciferous vegetable, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. These contain sulforaphane, a compound that activates the body's own antioxidant defense systems and further reduces the muscle-degrading inflammation that omega-3s are already fighting. The combined effect on muscle preservation is genuinely remarkable, and multiple studies support this pairing specifically. Let me bring this home because I think you deserve to hear this directly. Weakness is not your destiny. The moment you were born, nobody wrote it in your chart that your legs would fail you, that you would need help rising from a chair, that stairs would become your enemy, that the life you built, the grandchildren you want to chase, the garden you want to tend, the dances you want to dance would be taken from you by a body that gave up. None of that is written in stone. The research I've shared with you today is not theoretical. It is actionable. It is affordable, and it is waiting for you at your nearest grocery store. The 6 foods we covered today: whole eggs, sardines, tart cherry juice, Greek yogurt, beets, and wild-caught salmon, each work through distinct and complementary biological pathways to fight the muscle loss, the inflammation, the poor circulation, the mitochondrial decline, and the anabolic resistance that collectively rob seniors of their leg strength and their independence. Used together, they don't just add up, they multiply. And it is never too late to start. Never. I have seen it at 72, at 77, at 81. The body, when given what it needs, responds. It wants to be strong. It wants to carry you forward. Give it the tools. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel so you never miss what we publish. We cover topics like this every week because your health and your independence deserve serious evidence-based attention. Share this video with someone you love who might be experiencing leg weakness and doesn't know where to start. You might be giving them something more valuable than you realize. And now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 6 foods are you going to start with this week. Are you already eating any of them? And has anything from today surprised you? I read every comment and I will respond because that conversation, that connection is exactly why I'm here. I'm Dr. Daniel Hayes. Stay strong, stay moving, and I'll see you in the next.